the point that I'm making when I have these conversations about LeBron is context matters. So when you look at LeBron and you start to make the argument, well, he was the first one to make the move. No, he wasn't. Both the first people to make the move were Ray Allen.
No, I didn't say he was the first to make the move.
I know you don't. But this is what other people who are going to
okay.
be listening to this show do say. And I want to make sure they hear it so they can understand it and then get engaged so we can have this argument next week and we'll do it live so you can be on the chat. But my point is, what it is they will see that what they can't concede to is that the first people to make that move was Kevin Garnett and Ray Allen because they were both on non-trade clauses. And they decided to give up. What people don't realize is what they decided to give up was they decided to forego those non-trade clauses so they could be traded. That's the same thing, essentially, as being a free agent and making a decision. They had the control over where they went. The opportunity presented itself, and they decided to go there. And if you don't believe that team was good, they won the championship their first year together. So this is the part that I'm talking about when people talk about LeBron going to Miami to join forces with Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh. You have to remember who he was trying to have enough people to face against was Kevin Garnett, Ray Allen, Paul Pierce, and who would be an up-and-coming Rajon Rondo. And people forget that was a monster team. They went to 3 conference finals and 2 finals in 3 years. Like this.
And should have won a second.
Should have won. Should have won at least 2 and 3.
Kendrick Perkins got hurt. I think when Perkins got hurt, that hurt him.
Exactly. So it wasn't like he was just like there were no teams for him to get through. Boston was a monster. He had felt like he had gotten to the top of the mountain, and then Boston came into the East, and it was like, oh man, this is Kilimanjaro. I have only gotten.
Let me go back. But who even did it before Boston did it?
Who did it?
It was the
Boston
Lakers. It was the Lakers. Remember, even though they were aging, remember they brought in Gary Payton and Karl Malone.
Yeah,
when they went and lost to the Pistons.
We knew they looked good on paper.
So LeBron was not the only top 50 Hall of Famers to go, and then Gary ended up going to Miami to get the title in 06.
Yeah, exactly.
With Miami, but but we know that it's been done before. So I hope people listening don't try to pin that on LeBron. But like the point I made though, LeBron did move to go get one instead of, for instance, bringing. And I think that's where you can kind of like, because you could say, well, Jordan didn't leave, Kobe didn't leave.
But they both wanted to.
How many?
But stop right there. They both wanted to. At certain periods in their career, they both wanted to because they both felt like the organization wasn't bringing them the talent. And with that being said, you know who LeBron James talked to before he made the move to go to Miami. You know who, just ironically, or coincidentally in this case, guess who gave him the advice that he should go on to Miami?
It was Kevin Garnett.
It was Kevin Garnett. He talked to Kevin Garnett was one of the last people he talked to and advised him that he shouldn't stay loyal to a franchise that won't be loyal to him. As a result, LeBron James decided the next day to go to Miami. Kevin Garnett, and again, for those who need context, Kevin Garnett was the first player in NBA history to get the deal that he got for 10 years for $121 million. That was why he had to forego his no trade clause in his contract, because his contract was for a long period of time and the most money at that time we had seen by an NBA player for NBA players' salaries. Kevin Garnett signed that deal. He was the one staying loyal to an organization. He, towards the end of his career, decided in order to cement his legacy, he had to leave to go somewhere and play with better talent. And there's nothing wrong with that. Again, we saw Kevin Durant do it. He did it on a much different scale. I would have much rather seen him go anywhere else other than there were 2 places Kevin Durant could not go, and that would have cemented his legacy. He couldn't go to Golden State, and he couldn't go to Cleveland. Anywhere else, he was fine. Like he literally could have chose anywhere else, and it would not have put a stain on his career. But he decided to go to Cleveland. He decided to go to Golden State. They were already locked and loaded. All he did was made himself a better. What's the kid's name that kept missing all those shots? Kid out of Carolina. I forget his name that fast. Oh my God,
Danny Green.
No, not Danny Green. The guy he plays in Dallas right now. Shoot, I can't believe I forgot his name. But essentially what Kevin Durant did was he became that guy, and if you replace that guy with Kevin Durant, they're not going to lose in the finals, and that's what we saw for 2 straight seasons. Like they're not going to lose. But either way, can't wait for the Last Dance. I don't know how we ended up on
LeBron James. Because
this is supposed to be about
hatred
Jordan.
of MJ is so great, and the comparison of MJ and LeBron as the greatest of all time always draws you into a LeBron defense. I'm telling you, man, you all lead the man. When it comes to LeBron, you all lead defender, man.
Here's the thing, and I have to at least admit this much. Here's the thing. I believe that LeBron, there are 3 players that stand the top on, like, if we have trophy cases or if there are different rooms in the Hall of Fame, there are 3 players who have rooms by themselves. And then there's everyone else who has to share a room with somebody based on the tiers. There's LeBron James, there's Michael Jordan, and there's Lou Alcindor, or if you want to call him affectionately what he wants to be called, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Those 3 people are in 3 separate rooms by themselves. They're kind of on the same floor, but they get their own room. They don't have to share those rooms with anybody because the impact that those 3 players had during the eras for which they were at their primes is 100% unmatched. You go back and look at the winning record for Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, you're going to have to find Lou Alcindor, which is the reason why I use both names. You're going to see that he won on every level. Like, he could not, it was almost as if he just could not lose. There was nothing you could do with the skyhook. And not only was he a great offensive player, he was a great defensive player as well. And then you move on to Michael Jordan, which, again, people who suffer from Jordan nostalgia, he didn't need 6 championships to be the greatest player of all time. He was going to be that with 1.
Hold on, D. Hold on, though. But Kareem did lose to Bruce Lee in the Deadly Game. So that puts a smudge on his career.
You know what? I forgot all about that. You know what?
That's one place he lost. Bruce gave him the business.
You know what? With that being said, we'll be right back after these messages. We're gonna talk a little bit about coronavirus and what it is you can do. And man, are y'all bored on social media? We'll be right back. Names are not important.
Bad boy, baby.
Yeah. With your mouth. Yeah.
VIG 2000. VIG 2000 again.
What's up, everybody? Back again, Mac and Free, but our names are not important. We were, we was ending that. We had to end that Jordan LeBron conversation. We'll dig into that later. You know that's a conversation that'll never die. But let's talk about everybody during this time of coronavirus. Because we still in quarantine, and man, I'm telling you, barbers, y'all have been hiding these gray hairs for us for so long. Lord. We can't wait for you to come back. You all have earned raises in my book. because I tried to cut my kids' hair, and that was a terrible experience for me. So I can't wait for y'all to come back. But man, are we seeing some people right now who are looking rough. And let me explain something to all you crazy people who think this coronavirus thing ain't real. There are plenty of people out here that I have seen with plenty of money that could have a barber come to their house if they want to. I mean, enough money to fly my barber to them if they wanted to, just for the hell of it. And they are out here looking rough and tough with these Afro puffs, because they can't get no haircuts either. Like it's real in the field. And I am going to go get my wife to just put the guard on and cut me down a little bit, because
cut me down.
Yeah, it's rough.
I'm right there with you, man, and I'm looking at these posts with celebrities, and I'm like, whoa, man. It makes a difference. But I will say, in this time though, it has allowed me to work on my beard with no excuses.
Yeah, me too.
The only thing is, if the light is too bright, you can't see it because it's mostly gray now. So I'm a little nervous about that, but it is rough, and I'm like you. I'm gonna try to get the guard right, see if I can get it down, and I'm gonna see if the wifey can shave the rest, because I don't trust myself with a razor.
Yeah, I can't, man, goodness. But it's just looking at, like, I was looking at P. Diddy, and he honestly looked like he is preparing for the reboot of Color Purple. Like he looked like, I'm gonna get this Mr. part no matter what nobody say. Look like it is he looked bad. But who somehow I hadn't figured out how. Who has managed to continue to look real good?
Who that?
Is Will Smith. First Will, you married my middle school sweetheart, which was Jada Pinkett. I was mad at you about that. And then I found out that you were supposed to be in The Matrix. So I'm still mad about that, because you would have definitely been better than Keanu Reeves. That's messed up. You know what? No. I have to admit, I didn't know how bad of an actor Keanu Reeves was until I saw The Whole Truth. I don't know if anybody's ever seen that movie, but if you have, watched the movie The Whole Truth with Keanu Reeves. It's terrible, and it's only terrible because of him. If it had been anybody else in that movie, like Matthew McConaughey would have done great, but somehow Keanu Reeves got it. And again, I don't regret that Keanu Reeves got The Matrix. I think he works well for parts like that, because I love John Wick. So this is not shade at Keanu Reeves, but he is not the best actor, and that's not shade at all. Not even a little bit. But Will Smith would have been better. Because
you was a Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure guy, man. I think you even had a T-shirt back in the day.
I was not a Bill and Ted. I did like the movie, but I was more of a Wayne's World guy. But I did like Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
See, you was on the Keanu boat, man. You was on the Keanu boat.
Yeah, but Will, you know what I'm saying? He not only did Will, he married Jada Pinkett, one of the biggest crushes I had as a middle schooler, and gave up this part. And then he was, born and raised in Philadelphia, and then he got to move with his aunt and uncle out to Bel Air. It's like, man, when am I gonna get some of these breaks that he getting? I don't understand. But no, seriously. And all jokes aside, man, somehow he's managing to look much better than everybody else during this quarantine time.
Yeah, he's got some secret sauce. He's got some secret sauce.
That's something. He's got a youth fountain in his backyard, because he still looks like Fresh Prince, but look great. Like it's insane. But you know who else looks like looks like the head of finance at your bakery shop? DJ Khaled, man. I don't know. DJ Khaled looked like he could do your taxes right now. Like I've never seen him this way. He has like the gray, like he looks Jewish. Like he looks like he could give you some really good financial advice, and he probably could anyway. But he's gray on the, and this is what I meant by he looks Jewish. he's like gray on the side and dark on the top, and I've only seen Jewish